Hello everybody. I'm gonna do sort of a short chronic illness warrior video. I'm super symptomatic today, and I often wait to do these videos until I'm feeling good or I have like minimal symptoms, but I'm trying to show others as well as myself that you can't always put things off, or you don't need to always put things off because you are symptomatic. It depends on how bad you are. You know, the severity of it does matter. But I want to show people and myself that you can still follow through with some things, you know, when you are symptomatic. You don't need to be ashamed or afraid or any of those things. So I do have tics. It's like Tourette's. I wasn't born with it, but I got chronic Lyme disease, neuroborreliosis, I apologize, which is Lyme disease in the brain, and it affected my brain and my heart and my joints and stuff like that. I am in remission for the Lyme disease, and so I don't have active Lyme disease right now. And it did do a lot of damage though, so I'm you know, reaping that. But that with that, and then the FND, which is the functional neurological disorder that I ended up getting, it can be a trauma based disorder. It basically is like if you've had PTSD or have PTSD or high stress levels and anxiety for a prolonged period of time, your central nervous system basically breaks, and it's really hard to say. You might have to look it up, and I don't always know the right words to say because it can be really hard and exhausting to explain. But it's a neurological condition, and it's the brain doesn't send and receive signals properly to the rest of the body, so it just kind of messes with everything, and you don't really know when it's gonna hit, you know. So like I could be fine in the morning, and then by the afternoon I'm ticking and spasming and shaking and seizures, and my speech is off or whatever. It could be vision off. It's all kinds of things, really. And so with those two things together, it created tics, which is also known as Tourette's. Like I said, I wasn't born with it. I developed tics, verbal and body tics, about 4 years ago. So I was just diagnosed with FND in September of 2023, so it's still fairly new to me. It's a lot like MS when you're comparing symptoms, as far as the symptoms and, you know, stuff like that go. I'm doing all kinds of therapies and, you know, physical therapy and just all kinds of stuff to keep my body in motion, keep it keep my body knowing how to do things, like how to walk, how to step up, like step on steps or walk steps, all kinds of things. I have to practice a lot of things daily to keep my brain in the know-how, like how to do these, you know, simple tasks. So it's exhausting, and today I'm a bit more frustrated with it. I do break out and cry quite a bit sometimes, but I feel like crying helps me release, you know, all the negatives about it, and kind of helps me be stronger. It helps me refocus and just to remember, you know, what I'm doing. Like obviously the pain gets kind of bad, and not being able to talk or walk properly at times is very frustrating, because I swear it always affects me at the worst times. Like, you know, if I have to be somewhere, or I'm getting company, or it's a holiday or something like that, and that's when it kicks up the most. And I think because it's so closely related to stress, worrying, stress, emotional distress, any of that stuff, it kind of just takes over, you know. So there's definitely a learning curve with being chronically ill. I've been sick like this, bedridden and stuff like that, since 2012, and I spent 10 of those years just not even accepting that I was chronically ill and disabled. I was fighting against it. And then finally, a few years ago, I was like, okay, I need to accept this. Obviously, it's not going away. It's not, this is kind of my new normal, but it doesn't have to be as bad as we believe or feel it is sometimes, you know. Not saying that you're not validated and I'm not validated, because we absolutely are. Our pain, our suffering, our struggles, it's all validated, you know. Don't give a shit what anybody else thinks or says. It is validated. Like, you matter, I matter, what we're going through matters. So keep that in mind when you're fighting. I lost track of my thoughts here. That happens a lot. I get brain fog really bad, especially if I get overheated. I'm very heat intolerant, so like I keep my house like a morgue. It's chilly in here, but it's the only way that I can, you know, have a little bit of control on the severity of my symptoms for the most part, you know. Some days I don't have control over a lot of it, but so like typically, like the episode that I'm going through now, the spasms and tics and stuff, it usually lasts like maybe an hour or so, and then it will sort of break, and I'll still have some symptoms, but it will just get really, you know, tolerable for a while. So it's like my body just sort of like freaks out for a little while, and then it goes back. I don't want to say normal, because I don't even remember what normal is, but it'll go back to just being okay for a while, and then it might flare up again a few hours after that again. So this flare up just started about 25 minutes ago, and excuse me, I started crying right away, and it's because I was frustrated. I haven't had a good day for a while, so my fingers are crossed that I'll have, you know, just even 1 to 2 good days in a row, so that I can just sort of rebuild that hope and that fight inside of me. You know, when you have a lot of bad days in a row, you start to everything just gets, you know, dwindled down, and so you sort of need that refresher of hope. And so that's what I'm hoping for. Being chronically ill is having to be strong even when I feel like I'm not. You know, like today, I don't feel strong, I don't feel brave, I don't feel any of those things, but The logical part of my brain is telling me that yes, you are. Like, you are really brave, you are really strong. You're going through this, you're gonna make it through this like you always do, and wind up on the other side, you know. And this is just a bad moment, you know. It doesn't define everything in my life. It's so yeah, it's just one of those days. you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you do. I'm sure all of you can relate. Yeah, I pretty much just needed to vent a little bit, and just hopefully people can relate, and just wanted you to know that you're not alone, and going through this is really hard, but it doesn't mean that we're not gonna make it, and it doesn't mean that we can't heal and we can't find peace and joy, because we absolutely can, and that's what we're doing. That's, you know, that's what we're fighting for. So with that being said, I wish you all the best, and I'm here for you, as, you know, a support system. If you need to vent or talk or whatever, you can comment. We can exchange information if you'd like, so we can talk further. Yeah, I want to be here for you and help you in any way that I can. And make sure you know that you're validated. Your pain is validated. Your struggling is validated. You as a person and everything that comes with you is validated. Just don't forget that. That is so important. Yeah. I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope to see you in a week. And just remember to check out my YouTube shorts that I do daily. They're called Being Chronically Ill Is, and I list the numbers. You know, I'm gonna try to actually do it for an entire year, because God knows we have more than 365 things about chronic illness, mental health, and disability. So I definitely have something to say that you can relate to daily for at least a whole year. So check out the shorts, check out the Chronic Illness Warrior videos, and leave me a comment if you'd like to chat. I'm open to chat, and I love you guys, and I wish you the best. Bye.